Good afternoon and welcome everybody. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the San Bernardino International Airport Authority. Today is Wednesday, July the 26th, and it's approximately 3:02 p.m. This time I'd like to have our attorney read us into closed session.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've got two items for closed session. The first item is a conference with real property negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8 regarding the property located at 105 North Leland Norton Way. And the second item is a conference with legal counsel pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D2, which is anticipated litigation. This is related to a personnel matter that we'll discuss with you in closed session.
Okay, thank you. We'll recess into closed session and reconvene shortly. Thank you. We'll ask the attorney to read us out of closed session, please.
Mr. Mayor, as to both items in closed session, direction was given, no reportable action was taken.
Thank you very much. And now at this time, I'd like to call to order the open session of the Airport Authority. And if I could have Councilmember Sanchez read the say the pledge.
Yes. You can all stand, face the flag, put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember. Madam Clerk, do we have a roll call, please?
Certainly. Please state your names for the record. Members from the City of Colton.
Frank Navarro.
Thank you. Please also note Member John Echevarria in the audience. Members from the City of Loma Linda.
Phil Duper.
Thank you. Member from the County of San Bernardino, 5th District.
Baca Jr.
Thank you. And members from the City of San Bernardino.
Theodore Sanchez.
Fred Charette.
Thank you very much. We have a full quorum.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any items to be added or deleted on today's agenda?
Yes, we have two items in front of you. I had added items 14 and 15. They came to the attention of staff after the posting of the agenda.
Thank you very much. Time now for conflict of interest disclosure.
We need to take a vote as a board to add these items.
Yes, we do.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's correct. Let me pull up the language.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, the following items came to the attention of the staff of SBIAA staff subsequent to the posting of the agenda for this meeting. Pursuant to Government Code 54954.2, staff has requested the Commission take action to add these items to the agenda. It's item number 14, entitled Approve a Lease Agreement with Thunder International Group Incorporated for Building Number 56, and item number 15, entitled Ratify the Purchase of two 2023 Ford Lightning trucks with Citrus Motors Ontario Inc. and Puente Hills Ford LLC in an amount not to exceed $147,478. This matter does require a motion and a second and a supermajority vote to add them to the agenda.
I'll move it.
I have a motion by Councilmember Duper.
Second.
Second by Supervisor Baca.
If we can discuss, if you could give us the legal grounds to add these after the 72-hour window of notice.
Yes. So pursuant to Government Code 54954.2, when an item that is urgent comes to staff's attention after the posting of the agenda, you are able to then publish these items, hand them out, and by a motion of the commission, add them to the agenda. It is specifically authorized in the Government Code where you can do that. It's not something that is routine or that we like to do it. Obviously, we like to have the information before so we can include it in the packet. But having said that, the Government Code does allow for this when the items are learned about by staff after the publishing of the agenda.
Yeah, Councilmember Charette and myself have become experts on this one. We've been kicked in the butt a couple times for trying this in the city of San Bernardino. But the issue here is that it had to be a late breaking item So first, the board has to recognize that it was an emergency situation, and then that emergency situation, and I wrote it down here because it happens so often to us, it has to be a determination of the board that the emergency is defined as a work stoppage, crippling activity that is so severe that it impairs public health, safety, or both. So per the Brown Act Government Code, it has to, this event had to have been, the staff had to have realized this event after the agenda was posted, and it has to basically be a threat. We have to act on it in order to prevent a threat to public safety or health. And so that's an issue, and I don't think, and particularly these two items, I don't think they're a threat to public health, so it doesn't meet that legal definition. And I know that there is emergency. We want to make sure we don't lose these contracts. I would say we call for a special meeting, because again, people out there, they're going to say lease agreement and buying 2 pickup trucks doesn't need to happen now in order to prevent a risk to public health or safety.
Yeah,
And I think it is important, right? Because this is a big lease agreement. These trucks are few and far between. I would call for a special meeting. For a special meeting, all we need is a 24-hour notice. We could probably reconvene on a Friday. But if we pass this now, we are opening ourselves up for real. Anyone who disagrees with the airport on any issues would be able to skewer us on this one action.
So I believe the majority, I believe that the emergency situation would be authorized by a simple majority vote. Which is why I was suggesting you need a supermajority vote to add it on the agenda. You don't have to have an emergency if you have a supermajority vote.
You do. I can read it out to you. Upon a determination by 2/3 vote of the members of the legislative body present at the meeting, or if less than 2/3 of the members are present, a unanimous vote of those members present that there is a need to take immediate action, and that need for action came to the attention of the local agency subsequent to the agenda being posted at a specific, specifically. And again, the emergency has to be
But wait a minute.
regardless.
Read the provision before that. So you're reading item number 2 of subsection B. Read number 1, which is, upon a determination by a majority vote of the legislative body that an emergency situation exists as defined in section 54956.5.
Well, okay, now read that definition.
Yeah, but again, I'm not asking for a majority vote here. I don't think that applies here. This is not an emergency, which is why I'm saying you have to have, if you have a...
There have to be 2 votes.
You have to have 2/3 of the vote of the members that are present, because you do have more than 2/3 of the members here, right? You have to have 2/3 of the body here if it's a non-emergency. It's a simple majority if it's an emergency.
So there's 2 votes that need to be taken. First, the first vote, which is just the majority, is the council saying, hey, this is an emergency. The second vote, which has to pass by supermajority, is that emergency needs to be acted on now to prevent harm to public safety and to health. So there are 2 votes that need to be taken. The first one, just a majority, is this council recognizing that there is an emergency. And then the second one is that this emergency is so time sensitive that we need to act on it now, and that needs to pass by a supermajority. So 2 votes need to be taken regardless. The first by a majority and the second by a supermajority. Both of them equal 4 votes on this board.
That's if you're operating under subsection 1 of 54952 subsection B1. That's not what we're working under. This is coming under 54954.2 subsection B2, which is for non-emergency items. You have to have a supermajority vote to add a non-emergency item to the agenda.
That's not, okay, that's fine.
I mean,
We can still vote on it, but I think that, considering the government code is pretty clear, that it needs to be an emergency, it needs to be an emergency, and it needs to be time sensitive. That's the two votes this board has to take. One.
Under
is majority-
subsection 1, you are correct. Under subsection 1, that is absolutely true. But that's not what staff is not bringing this under subsection 1, which is saying, hey, this is an emergency where you only need a majority vote. We're bringing this under subsection 2.
You're only allowed to bring these within the 72-hour reporting window on a regular meeting when an emergency is present and acting on it is time sensitive. So you can't just add an item within the 72-hour window if it's not an emergency. That's a Brown Act 101.
Chair, I had a question.
Yes.
And maybe it's to Mr. Burrows. I know we have two items. I know that Commissioner Sanchez has concerns. These two items that this board is potentially looking at adding, if they're not passed or added on today, what are the implications to SBIAA if these are not passed today?
Sure, happy to delve into that. Item 14, as Member Sanchez points out, is time sensitive in the respect that this particular tenant has preparatory work that they want to perform in converting office to usable space for their freight forwarding business. And at their request, they asked consideration to move this as expeditiously as possible. Deferring it to your next meeting would mean that we would have to confer with them to see if they're still interested in proceeding under the delayed circumstances, and the obvious impact is less revenue for the balance of this fiscal year. But if that is a pleasure of the commission, we can certainly follow course with that. Item 15 is in front of you because it is a ratification item. Per procedure, we had a very, very narrow lane to be able to book these two vehicles that were previously authorized. However, because the cost exceeded, total cost on the current pricing and availability exceeded the original authorization, we felt it appropriate to bring it to you as quickly as possible. That, because it's a ratification, could be deferred for a further date, but we don't like surprising you with ratifications. It is not our preference, but given the circumstances and the discussion with the board president, we felt it appropriate to get you as quickly as possible. And we already knew that we would be presenting potentially an opportunity to take the lease at the same time, so it made sense to include it with this. So that's the long and short of it.
Sure.
So
As far as the tenant's reaction, I don't know. We've not conferred with them. We told them that we would be bringing this to you today for consideration. We can go back if appropriate.
I have Mr. Duper with a comment or question.
And I was just conferring with my colleague over here. From my recollection of how we have done this in my city, I do believe our city attorney has stressed the emergent, exigent, not life and death necessarily, but public safety language to us. And I just don't know the code enough to be super comfortable with it. And being that this is something that you guys do deal with or have dealt with a few times.
First day as a council member.
I'm probably more inclined to say, I'm in agreement, if we need to schedule a special meeting, I would make myself available for that, just to make sure we're all good. But I do recall that language, and it might be something that we've been given as a city at a council level that maybe we're confusing. So I don't pretend to understand all that, but I do remember that same stressor. Does that make sense?
It does, and I will tell you, it is typically, how do I put it? The public has a right to understand what's on the agenda, has a right to make comment about what's on the agenda. And so items that are not urgent, you would want to exercise extreme caution with doing that. You don't want to make it a standard practice. You know, having said that, again, I'm not here to tell you whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. I'm just here to tell you what the statute says. And I can tell you again, reading subsection B, it says, notwithstanding subdivision A, which talks about publishing 72 hours before, It says the legislative body may take action on items of business not appearing on the posted agenda under any of the conditions stated below. And that's where you've got items 1, 2, and 3. Item 1 talks about emergency. Item 2 talks about you can add if it's not emergency with a supermajority vote. And item number 3 is if it was posted prior to the meeting, not more than 5 calendar days prior to action being taken, and it was continued from a previous meeting, which is again not applicable at all here. I'm not saying it's a good idea to do it or a bad idea to do it. I'm just telling you the statute does allow for it. Having said that, if you want to have a special meeting, we can certainly schedule a special meeting with 24 hours notice as early as tomorrow at 4 o'clock, or 5 o'clock, or a special meeting can be done pretty quickly.
And that requires only a 24-hour
Yes.
notice. So
24
you'd
hour
be fine.
notice.
So, again, the issue is that, the airport, just like any other agency, has enemies, and people will point that out and say, they're bringing a lease agreement for freight, which is, very polarizing in this region, and they're sneaking it in last minute, not even more than 3 hours before. And so the last thing I want to do is give the agency a black eye, because I think we do have a stellar record of being above board.
Yeah.
And like I said, a special meeting only requires a 24-hour notice, and it'd be 2 items. This meeting would last 10 minutes.
Maybe.
If I don't show up.
Well,
I'd like to add too, in terms of, and you're absolutely right, item 14, I think, is probably the hardest one to really wrap our heads around. 15, me personally, understanding the history and circumstances, and that was already an approved purchase to come back and ratify something in the future, I wouldn't have a heartburn with that if that's what you had to do, just so you know. And I'm obviously not speaking for everybody, but obviously you have to make business decisions, and sometimes you have to come back and say, hey, this is what we had to do.
Yeah, from a public policy standpoint, this is well above our pay grade, right? You all have to decide from a public policy standpoint whether this is a good idea or whether it's worthy of a special meeting. That's not for us to decide.
Yeah, and the way I'm looking at it with item number 14, that probably could be a special meeting, 24-hour notice. Item number 15, I think that because it's a ratification from something that we approved, whatever time frame was in the past, then all we're doing is saying, we're going to ratify that previous approval, and we can move on that, because you can actually maybe even point to providing better, higher quality safety around the airport with those vehicles.
Yeah, and again, it's a pleasure of the commission. We're happy to do as you direct.
Okay, so I had a motion.
You know what, I'll withdraw my motion.
Withdraw the motion, you okay with
Because
that?
I'm supporting Mr. Sanchez.
Okay, so Chair will entertain a new motion. The motion will be,
Yeah, the motion will be to add item 15 to the agenda. Yes.
only item 15. Okay. So only for item 15, a motion to add that to the agenda.
Would you be amenable to adding as well and directing staff to schedule a special meeting for item
14.
14?
Why don't you just do them together, 14 and 15? If we're
Yeah,
gonna-
right.
Special meeting.
Special
Just
meeting
take
for
this
both
off the
of those?
table, then we don't have to
Are
worry.
you fine with that?
No, I'll withdraw my motion. Go ahead.
Okay, I need a
Sorry.
motion.
Do not add item 14 and 15, and if we can have staff schedule a special meeting to approve both 14 and 15.
Certainly.
What day?
Yeah, let's do this sooner rather than later. Last thing we want to do is lose one of these. Can you guys, does Friday work for everyone here?
Sure.
Friday. For Friday, if possible.
Sure, will do.
Why not Thursday?
Now, I do know that Penny is out of town, so
Yeah.
isn't somebody else from the supervisor's board available?
Well, I think I'm the only alternate, and Don's listed as the primary.
Yeah, he's the alternate on the primary. And why not tomorrow?
I should.
You gotta give it 24 hours, though.
It
You
is-
just have to.
So it'd have to be after a certain
No,
hour.
we have to do it quick, yeah.
Well, the
I
person
still
that
gotta
does it
post it.
sitting in the
I'm like, I still gotta post the agenda.
She's sitting over there.
I just need a little bit of time to post it after this.
She's a good multitasker, but give her a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So what time would that have to be? So it'd have to be
5
after.
p.m.?
Okay.
And again,
Councilmember
if
Shred, are
you,
you available?
if you do it Friday, if this is scheduled for a special meeting on Friday, you only need a quorum.
No,
You don't- You would not need to have everybody here.
because it's simple majority.
Right, but you'd need to have a quorum.
Oh, yeah, indeed, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if members are absent, we can certainly, or if they're out of town, we can certainly notice it, for them to participate remotely. If someone is unavailable, as long as we have a quorum, that's okay.
See, what I'm afraid of is that we'll lose the vehicle purchase ability.
I don't believe, Mr. Kuzino, that's an issue since this is a ratification. The lease, a couple days on that one, I don't think the tenant's gonna have an issue with that.
Yeah, I should be available.
Friday? Okay. Supervisor? No?
I'm not sure I can speak for that.
Okay. So then, your motion then will be to schedule the meeting on Friday? At what time?
Well, you could do it
Morning?
anytime on Friday. 'Cause
Yeah, it's up to you all.
First thing in the
No, I'm asking
morning?
because, some of us work, I just can't say
I
over
should be
3 o'clock.
available at any time after 4.
All right, so let's go then for 5 o'clock.
No, you don't need to do 4 on Friday, because that's 48 hours.
Yeah,
What was that?
if you wanted to do Friday morning, you can do Friday morning, and that's up to you.
Oh, Friday, oh, yeah, yeah.
O'clock's 24 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tomorrow at 5 o'clock is 24 hours.
Yeah. Friday, so Friday morning, does that work better for you guys? Friday morning?
Friday
Friday
doesn't,
morning.
Friday morning does not work out for me, sorry.
Early afternoon, 1, 2 o'clock.
Oh, wait, Friday morning works. I got room. I'm sorry.
So when we say morning, we mean what time?
6:30?
Okay, get it out of the way.
I'll be here with bells on.
What are you guys thinking? 9 o'clock?
9 a.m.?
10 o'clock.
Not-
Who's bringing the coffee and donuts?
We'll make sure we have that for you. Plenty of coffee. Okay, 9? Okay, done. Between the hours of 8 and 10.
Our president says 10 o'clock would be good for everyone. I think I agree.
10 o'clock Friday?
Duly noted.
All right. Madam Clerk, please take a roll call vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. So from my understanding, items 14 and 15 do not pass to be added to this agenda. And instead, we will be having a special meeting this Friday at 10 a.m. In order to consider those items. And please state the motion in the second for the record.
Yes.
Motion, second?
I'll second it.
Alrighty, thank you very much. And please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro,
Yes?
Member Duper,
Yes.
Member Baca,
Aye.
Member Sanchez.
Yes.
And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I will go ahead and post that agenda, well, in advance of 24 hours.
Okay. Now we go back to the regular agenda, informational items. Oh, we didn't finish conflict of interest, I didn't hear anybody. So I guess there's no conflict of interest today on any agenda items, so we'll move over to informational items. Mr. Burrows.
This one's really brief. A big part of your staff's activities, particularly the maintenance division, is making sure everybody is staying cool as best we can. So just want to, point out a big show of thanks and gratitude. They've really been working the work, not only with our terminal facilities, but the very building you're sitting in right now. So, John and the entire team, just want to pass our thanks on and appreciate the good work that everybody does. That concludes my report.
And I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Kuzino for signing all those checks. He must have a lot of cramps.
They sign it.
Oh,
I just print them.
oh, okay, we're printing.
It's an e-signature.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to commission consent items. Consent items 3, 4, and 5.
I'll move them.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Duper, second by Councilmember Charette.
Thank you very much. We have a motion by Member Duper and a second by Member Charette. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro,
Yes?
Member Duper,
Yes.
Member Baca,
Buckeye.
Member Sanchez.
Yes.
And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you. That item passes unanimously.
Thank you. Moving on to commission action items. First item is item number 6. It's that time of the year when we conduct elections for president, vice president, and secretary for the authority. And at this time, I will present this over to Mr. Huber.
Yes, this is an annual requirement that the that the leadership positions are reappointed or new members are appointed. You have the position of president, vice president, and secretary. And it would be appropriate this time for anyone to make a motion to nominate one or more of those positions.
I'll, Mr. President,
Yes.
just a statement first, and then I'll make a nomination to start. But I'm also technically the alternate, and depending on how the next item goes, potentially may go back to being an alternate, and we may have a regular member back. But in the absence of that right now, I would nominate some of the regular members that have been here that are very familiar with the job and doing the job, and that would be Councilmember Lilburn for secretary.
As you wish. It is the pleasure of the commission, whether you want to do secretary first, then and work that way, or whether you want to do president and go and work.
Yep.
Again, up to you.
fine.
As I said before, these decisions are well above our pay grade.
Right.
So
So we have a nomination for Penny Lilburn to be continue as secretary. Any other nominations? Hearing none. Consensus of the flavor of the board. Fred?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
For Penny?
Oh, what are you asking me?
Yea or nay?
Oh, yay.
Bill?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
And yes for me. Next, we'll move over to vice president. Currently, our vice president is Dusty Rigsby. And Dusty Rigsby, as we all know, has acquired new employment. And if the second, item number 7 is approved today, then we will revert back to, if he is elected, to have him as vice president. Or are there any other nominations for vice president at this time?
Are you making the nomination?
I'll make the nomination.
I'll second that.
Mhm. Did you get that?
Yes. I'm sorry, did we have a second for the nomination of member Lilburn as secretary? I got the motion by Duper.
No, I didn't get a second.
But I did note that it was unanimous.
Yeah, it was unanimous.
Yes. So for vice president, we have a motion for member Rigsby to remain vice president by member Navarro and a second by member Duper. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Duper.
Yes.
Member Baca.
Aye.
Member Sanchez.
Yes.
And member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you.
And the third item is election of a president. Any nominations from the floor?
Frank, you're doing a great job, but I'd like to hear us play Hail to the Chief more.
Okay.
When you walk in. It's kind of weird because we got a lot of alternates sitting up here right now, so
All of us were alternates.
all of us are alternates.
Yeah.
basically.
Is that a nomination?
I'll make the nomination. I'm not sure that our first nomination went through though, because we didn't have a second on it.
We'll do it. We'll redo that one.
All right, so for member Penny Lilburn as secretary of the commission, I have a motion by member Duper and a second from
Second. Baca.
member Baca.
Okay.
Thank you, and I can go ahead and take the vote. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Duper.
Yes.
Member Baca.
Baca, aye.
Member Sanchez.
Yes.
And member Charette.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That takes care of that. And then I just need a second for the vote of member Navarro to remain as president.
Baca seconds.
Thank you very much. I have a motion by member Duper and a second by member Baca. Please state your votes for the record. Member Duper,
Yes.
member Baca,
Baca, aye.
member Sanchez,
Yes.
and member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you. I believe all seats remain the same.
Thank you very much, everybody. It was a quirky process because we don't do that but once a year, so.
We will need clarification on when to play Hail to the Chief. I mean, is it with the flag?
We'll talk about that, okay? I'm gonna see if I can get the,
I don't know if they're legitimate with a bunch of alternates voting.
Oh, whoa, the legal questions are flying,
I can tell you it is legitimate. You are here.
flying.
Majority of alternates here today.
It's been one of those meetings, folks.
You're running it.
I know, but you guys are responding. Okay, item number 7. Let's consider and discuss the potential change of the regularly scheduled commission meeting time. Mr. Huber.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you all are aware, the operating rules and procedures for the commission, they don't specifically mandate a meeting time and a place, but traditionally we have met on the fourth Wednesday at 3 p.m. It has come to our attention, one of the members, one of the main members, has a conflict now at that time, and so there's been a request to place this item for your consideration to move the meeting times to 5 p.m. on the fourth Wednesday of each month to allow that assigned member to attend. So we present it for your consideration, your discussion, and if you feel so inclined, for a motion and a second and a vote.
Okay, I'll make the motion.
And I'll second it.
And just a quick comment that we've already done this also with the IVDA.
And in addition to your comment, not only is he a member, but he's an officer. We just voted him in.
He is, and that would be a little awkward if he was not able to attend.
Well, we've already proven we can redo the votes multiple times, so.
But to be clear, the motion was to move the meetings to 5 p.m. on the fourth Wednesday of the month.
Right.
That's correct.
And that's my second.
The motion was by Councilmember Duper and Councilmember Charette. Any comments or questions on that motion? Not?
Just real quick, just a comment about Dr. Rigsby. He's probably been one of the longest serving members both here and on the IVDA, and has a wealth of knowledge and background and history here with both organizations. And so I think although I know we would do this for any of us, but definitely trying to keep him engaged and be able to be a part of this, because it's that important to
Right.
all of our cities.
Yeah, and the institutional knowledge that he has about the airport and the IVDA is, it's a wealth for us. It's a mine for us. Okay, so we have a motion and a second.
Thank you very much. We have a motion by Member Duper and a second by Member Charette. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Duper?
Yes.
Member Baca?
Buckeye.
Member Sanchez?
Yes.
And Member Charette?
Yes.
Thank you. That item passes unanimously.
Thank you. Don't forget, when do we start, 5 o'clock in September? Need to do the reso next month?
Oh, I think it's by resolution.
Oh, yes,
so
we
the
have to.
resolution will come.
Sorry?
The resolution will come in.
Let me ask a housekeeping, Counselor. Since we're having a special meeting,
Oh, can we
We
add
can
that
put
to
it on the
that?
special meeting.
we know what the reso looks like.
Okay.
I mean, so if that's your pleasure, we could add that to the
We can
special.
put it on the special meeting.
Is that okay with everybody? Let's do it. With the reso, okay? It's on for tomorrow, or Friday. At 11 o'clock.
10, right?
6:30.
Okay. Moving on to item number 8. Consider and adopt proposed budget adjustments for fiscal year 23-24. Mr. Cosino, please.
Thank you, Mayor. We have before you a $332,830 increase in expenses for the year. It comes from 2 categories of information that wasn't known to us at the time we were preparing the budget. First one is for property insurance, or primarily property insurance, an increase of $150,000 for both the general fund and property management fund. And then there's a $182,830 increase for contract aircraft rescue and firefighting services that we anticipate signing the contract soon, but that was also relatively new information for the year. Those are the 2 ones that have come up to that amount, and then there was one other budget adjustment that is a net zero budget adjustment, just to move around some maintenance and repair expenses along with our HVAC expenses to be able to handle our first quarter or so of HVAC repairs that we're now going through rapidly. And with that, we ask for your approval.
Thank you, Mr. Cosino. Comments or questions from the commissioners?
Move approval?
Second. Okay, Supervisor Baca moves for approval. Councilmember Duper, seconds. Any public comment on this?
No public comments.
Thank you much.
Thank you. We have a motion by Member Baca and a second by Member Duper. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Duper.
Yes.
Member Baca.
Buckeye.
Member Sanchez.
Yes.
And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you. That item passes unanimously.
Thank you. Item number 9 is approving the award of a multi-year contract with ADT LLC in the amount not to exceed $81,792 for fire alarm and burglar alarm. Jonathan Guzman, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, Commissioners. This item is for approval of a 1 year with 2 one-year extension options for the contract with ADT for fire and burglar alarm monitoring. Total amount $81,792. The alarm monitoring that we have in place is currently covering 17 SBIAA-owned facilities. They help alert and assist personnel in responding to those facilities when those alarms are activated, as well as activating mutual aid in case of any fires or potential break-ins to those facilities. And such, it helps additionally to save lives and protect our assets. For your reference, you may see the bid tabulation on page 52 of your packets to identify the cost breakdown. In adherence with the agency purchasing policy, staff contacted 3 vendors for quotes for these alarm monitoring services. Of the 3, only 2 provided pricing. As seen on the tabs, ADT is the apparent lowest bidder over the 3-year period at a cost of $81,792. I request the Commission approve this item and all related documents. That concludes my presentation, and I can take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Guzman. Comment by Mr. Duper?
Yes, just a personal comment on ADT. I actually used their service for many years. Was outside of any contracts. I used to pay in advance, yearly in advance. Recently, I found another company that was cheaper and that had better service. And AT&T drugged me through the ringer trying to cancel. They have still not proven that I have been able to cancel my account. I paid in advance in June for June 23 to 24 and have asked them for a refund, and they still have not granted me that refund. And the last thing they said is, well, now I have to wait 30 days after I cancel my account to make sure I'm sure that's what I want to do. I hear lots of complaints about ADT more and more every day, and I just went through the ringer with them. So when I saw this on the agenda the other day, I was determined to bring this up in public forum and to ensure that we really have done due diligence in finding the best company that's out there because this is a big contract. I know there are a lot of local alarm service providers that are here within the county. And I personally would like to see us give our business to somebody locally and keep the money here. But obviously I will defer to whatever everybody else sees and wants.
Thank you, Mr. Duper. Any public comment on this?
No public comments.
Any other comments or questions from commissioners? Chair will entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion by Supervisor Bachman, and second by Councilmember Sanchez. Madam Clerk?
Thank
vote.
you. We have a motion by Member Baca and a second by Member Sanchez. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Duper.
With respect to all my peers, this is nothing, absolutely no for my own personal reasons.
Thank you. Member Baca.
Buckeye.
Member Sanchez.
Yes.
And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you. The item passes.
Thank you very much. Item number 10, approve Knuckles Oil Company Incorporated, DBA Merit Oil, as a service provider of gasoline and red dye diesel fuels in the amount not to exceed $500,000 during fiscal year 23-24. Jonathan Galvan, please.
Thank you again, Mayor. Red dye diesel and gasoline are used daily on the airfield to support a variety of vehicles and systems. Most of the airport fleet vehicles use gasoline, such as airport ops, maintenance, security vehicles, and FBO vehicles. Red dye diesel is used by support vehicles such as airport fire trucks, also known as ARF, fuel trucks, and other ground service equipment, GSE, as well as backup generators on the airport that support the infrastructure during any power outages, such as the instrument landing system, the control tower, and domestic terminal, to name a few. It's critical for the safety and success of our operations that we have these types of fuel available on a daily basis. In preparation for these purchases for the fiscal year, staff contacted 4 vendors, including our current one, Merit Oil, for fuel pricing deliveries, as well as any associated costs. It was found that regardless of fuel pricing and deliveries, moving to a new fuel provider would require the airport to purchase and install its own new fuel tanks. This would incur the airport additional cost and downtime on available fuel. It's noteworthy to state that the current fuel provider, Merit Oil, provides the fuel tanks. They own them and maintain them, and are part of grandfathered in service at no additional cost to the airport. With this in mind, it was also identified that it is cost prohibitive to select another vendor. In addition, Merit Oil can provide the lowest cost fuel in the area and delivery at a cost of $3.65 per gallon for gasoline and $3.41 for red dye diesel. For the current fiscal year, we anticipate to use $350,000 worth of gasoline and red dye diesel for the FBO line of services, and $150,000 for the airfield support, for a grand total of $500,000. I ask the Commission to approve this item and all related documents.
Okay. Any public comment?
No public comments.
Comments and questions for commissioners on this item?
Move approval.
Supervisor Baca moves for approval.
Second. I'll second.
Councilmember Duper, seconds.
Thank you very much. We have a motion by Member Baca and a second by Member Duper. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Duper.
Yes.
Member Baca.
Baca.
Member Sanchez.
Yes.
And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you. That item passed unanimously.
Thank you. Item 11, approve a service agreement with Cisco Riverside Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $75,000 for food, supplies, beverage, and delivery services. Wendy McConaughey, please.
Good afternoon. As you know, being Southern California premier FBO, Luxavera SBD offers complimentary snacks, beverages to our customers. This is consistent with FBO industry practice. To comply with the San Bernardino Airport Authority purchasing policy, a request of proposals for hospitality service was issued. 3 proposals were received. Cisco Riverside was the most cost-efficient option that carries all required supplies. Staff is requesting the approval for a service agreement with Cisco Riverside in the amount not to exceed $75,000 for food, services, beverages, and delivery service.
Any public comment on this item?
No public comments.
Questions or comments from commissioners?
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve by Mayor Duper and a second by Councilmember Sanchez.
Thank you very much. We have a motion by Member Duper and a second by Member Sanchez. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Duper.
Yes.
Member Baca.
Baca.
Member Sanchez.
Yes.
And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you. That item passes unanimously.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 12, this is to consider and discuss the SBD Good Neighbor Program, second quarter 2023. Mr. Gibbs, if you would please.
Thank you, Mayor. Here with us to walk us through this quarter's Good Neighbor Report is none other than Rosemary Barnes with our contractor that helps us with this program, Aviatrix Communications. And with that, I'd like to hand over the microphone to Ms. Barnes.
It's not on. Is that on? There we go. Thank you. Thanks for having me back to share the Good Neighbor Quarterly Report for the second quarter of 2023. Jennifer, we can go to page 4, please. Let's look at the outreach activities and results for the quarter. We published the spring edition of the Good Neighbor News newsletter, sharing individual articles promoting subscriptions. We continue to increase our subscribers. Through social media and outreach to neighbors, we focused on the airport team's efforts to connect and engage with our community members, both on and off the airport, bringing students into the airport, going and speaking to them in the classroom, being out there in the community with civic organizations and such, and being out in the community at festivals. So just a lot of great connection now that we're beyond so many years of COVID. So that's just been really exciting, just seeing all that energy and excitement out in the community. We informed our community about how the airport and its partners are reinvesting in the airports. Is it sound weird?
think you just get a little closer to the microphone.
Is that what it is? Okay, thanks. The airport's infrastructure, both airside and landside, the roadway improvements that are getting underway, and of course, completing the rehab on the airport's runway and taxiway system. And the airport was voted both best airport and favorite airport by local newspapers, newspaper readers. So we were make sure we got that wonderful news out there in the community too. Page 9. Let's get into the data. For the first quarter of, the first month of the quarter, we had 21 comments from 9 households between Highland, San Bernardino, and Redlands. Page 12. In May, we had 14 comments from 7 households in Highland, Redlands, and Fontana. Page 15. In June, we had 10 comments from 9 households in Highland, Fontana, Redlands, and Jurupa Valley. Page 17. Getting into the totals and trends, year over year, there was a decrease in both the number of comments received as well as the number of households filing those comments. And this was despite an increase in commercial aircraft operations, and it can be attributed in part to the ongoing communications and outreach we are providing about aircraft activities here at our airport. Page 18. For the second quarter, we had a total of 45 noise comments from 18 distinct households, and 78% of these comments were received from 11 households in Highland. Page 19. Here you see the top 5 commenters for the quarter. Let's see here, page, where are we? Page, hold on a sec. Yeah, here we go, sorry. Of these 5 commenters, 58% were from 4 households in Highland, and a little less than 10% was from 1 household in Redlands. And page 20. Here you see the year-over-year data for the second quarter. You see that comments are down significantly year-over-year, and we had 8 fewer households filing comments. Page 22. And this is the comment breakout by the type of aircraft, the type of concern, as well as how we receive the comments from our neighbors. Jet activity was the most prevalent report we received. Flying over the home, as well as the perception of low flying, was the most prevalent concern we heard. And 80% of comments we received came through the online system. Page 23. This is really that same information, just in table format. And for over 50% of the comments that we received, commenters said yes to wanting to hear back from 50% of commenters said that, yes, that they want to hear back from the airport about a question about their comment. I'm almost done. I can speak loud. Page 25. Here's the heat map showing that the majority of the comments came from neighbors located 5 to 10 miles from the airport. And then let's go to the next slide. To wrap this up, in summary, quarter over quarter, there were 8 additional comments from 8 additional households. However, year over year, there was a decrease in both the number of comments received and the number of households filing comments. This year-over-year decrease, we believe, is attributed in part to ongoing information and engagement with our community about aircraft activity at the airport. And we're 3 years into this program. We started this in 2020, the Good Neighbor Program. We're really pleased how it continues to serve as an important resource for pilots to learn about our program, as well as information to the community about our program. So this completes the report.
Comments or questions from commissioners? This is a receive and file item. Just one comment. Please note, Colton was not on the list. Thank you. Thank you very much, Rosemary.
Well, thanks.
Item number 13, review status action plan of the San Bernardino International Port Authority. Mr. Burrows, please.
Okay, well, happy, cool July. We, again, appreciate your ongoing support of the airport and its activities. In addition to making sure the air conditioning is alive and well in your domestic terminal, our team is also working on, other continued upgrades to make sure that's a welcoming and, open place for the traveling public. So thankfully, these are all within budget and proceeding just fine. I do want to thank Ms. Pritchett and Mr. Cousineau for navigating the sea that is our new insurance policies. So thank you, Kat. And there's a lot to manage there, but we're off and running here this new fiscal year. So with that concludes my report, and stay cool.
Thank you. Any comments from commissioners? No? Just to say thank you to Mike, our our airport attorney, and Mark Gibbs, and the rest of the staff over here on my right, for all the work you guys do in the airport, keeping it up there, competing with everybody else. Thank you.
And for the record, there are no other public comments.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
There be no other business to attend to for the airport authority? We are adjourned. See you Friday.